You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
This episode of Oh Behave is brought to you by the Trimline Veterinary Recovery Collar.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Check the calendars, listeners. It's 2010. For many of you, the holiday highlight, adopting a cute, adorable puppy. Yes, puppies are always cute when they're little and cuddly and playful, but if you let time pass without giving your puppy the proper training foundation, tick-tock, your puppy grows up to become a canine version of Dennis the Menace. And who wants that? So, if you just adopted a puppy, or you're thinking about doing so, or you want to add a second dog to your furry family, you're in luck. Our special guest today knows dogs, really knows dogs, and she is a master at matching the right person with the right dog. Please give pause and applause to Dr. Emily Weiss, a certified applied animal behaviorist. Hey, welcome to the show, Dr. Weiss.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here because we need you at the start of this year. And listeners, Dr. Weiss is going to help you find a perfect furry match and help you cope with canine sibling rivalry right after this commercial break. So, sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
This valuable information comes from your pet. There's nothing like a wagging tail or friendly paw to lift your mood. They're therapeutic and make us feel good. Studies show pets even reduce stress, prevent heart disease, lower blood pressure, and fight depression. So there you have it. Pets are a daily dose of good health and happiness. Pets add life. To learn more, visit petsaddlife.org.
It's time for school for you and your friends, your furry best friends. Train your dog the fun and easy way with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Teacher's Pet host Pia Silvani teaches you step-by-step how to train your dog the fun and easy way. You get 8 30-minute live audio training sessions, complete transcripts of each session, plus a basic training manual to get you and your dog off to a great start. Training begins the moment you bring your dog home. Teacher's Pet Sessions offers positive reinforcement training to shape your dog's behavior and encourages upbeat, enthusiastic responses to ensure that your dog will enjoy learning. Teacher's Pet Sessions dog training is fun at both ends of the leash. So listen, learn, and laugh with your dog with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Get your copy of Teacher's Pet Sessions Volume 1 today. To order, go to teacherspetsessions.com.
Hi, this is Pia Silvani, your host. Bring your dog, tug toy, and treats, and get ready to have some fun.
teacherspetsessions.com.
Hello! I'm Deborah Wolf, and I'm inviting you to my animal party on Pet Life Radio. The dress code? Come as you are. Pajamas, a tux. You can even go naked like your pets. Unleash your party animal at my animal party. Guests you know from Animal Planet, TV, radio, the news, and bookstores will be joining me. And that's because after I won Best Pet Radio in America from the DWAA, I got my paw in the door and I met a lot of amazing people. And the best of the best are going to be coming to the party. They're coming to party with us. So join us at the animal party. Don't miss the party.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest today is Dr. Emily Weiss. She has top dog credentials. She is a certified applied animal behaviorist. That means she's earned a doctorate degree in knowing dogs and cats. She's also Senior Director of Shelter Research and Development for the ASPCA. And in her spare time, she invented a no-pull leash that I tested out on my 60-pound husky mix named Chipper, and it really works. So let's get started, Dr. Weiss. There's a lot of people who just adopted new puppies or shelter dogs, or they're planning to do so, and they need your help. You created see, look, Chipper and Cleo, right, guys? You need Dr. Weiss's help. Yeah. See, aren't they good? They're backup vocalists. And so you created this canine-ality program for the ASPCA. Can you explain a little background on how it works and what's the magic behind it?
Sure. So the Meet Your Match program is a program designed to match you with the right pet. There's both canine-ality and feline-ality, based not on just a beautiful pair of eyes, but on your expectations and the behavior of that animal. There's some good data behind it, and at this point, we have saved the lives of hundreds of thousands of pets using the program and have made some amazing matches.
Wow. And I love the title, Canine-ality and Feline-ality. I mean, talk about it. It is personality. It is temperament. That's really what you're needing to make a match on, correct?
Yeah, looks change,
right.
More so in the human form than in the canine form. But, making that bond and making that match has everything to do with behavior. And there's data to support that when you have unrealistic expectations about your pet, the bond can break. And what we want to do is set you up for success. So by identifying the behavior of the canine, whether that dog is likely to be a couch potato or the life of the party, to what your expectations are, we can really help make that bond happen and help for success.
I wish you were around when I was dating in my younger years. You probably could have helped me find my soulmate, huh? Do you ever get people asking you if they can help you find the right guy or gal in their life?
Well, before I was married, I think I was pretty professional at dating quite a bit. Uh-huh. I'm not sure that I found the science behind the human matches as much as I have behind the non-human ones.
Well, I think you laid it on really a good point. People sometimes fall in love with the look. It's the outside. But, there's some amazing dogs that may not win a beauty contest physically, but from their heart out are. So give us a few pointers with the canine-ality test, and also tell us how we can find out more about the Meet Your Match. Where can they go? What kind of website?
Where to find more about the program would be going to the ASPCA website. So aspca.org/Meet Your Match will give you some more information about the Meet Your Match program. If you have some shelter professionals who are listening today, if they go to aspcapro.org, they can find lots more information about both Meet Your Match and other sheltering programs. So that's a really nice resource for those in the field. The program and the way that canine-ality works is we do a set of assessments on the dog, and my favorite assessment is the left alone item, and it's where we get to be a voyeur. We get to watch the dog while he's alone, left alone in a room, and it's just a room with a counter and a garbage can and a chair to jump on and a nice comfy bed and some toys on the floor. And you're watching through a remote camera, and we're able to see what the dog does when he's left alone and how he behaves in the sheltering situation when he's in this made-up room is quite similar to how he's going to behave at home. So a dog that jumps on the counter or climbs up on the furniture in the left-alone room is likely to do those things in the home. And that's really good information for the adopter taking that pet home.
Especially if they have a white couch.
You got it. Might as well end up with a white dog then.
Yeah, that's right. But you know what? You're right, because tell us a little bit, like when I got Chipper. Chipper was a 3-time shelter reject, and I got her when she was about 2 years old, and she went from a kill shelter to a no-kill shelter to a husky rescue camp. And the first few months when I got her, she was very shy and timid, and she's got golden retriever in her and husky. So she actually leaped over my 6-foot fence, that's the husky, and ran to my front door on the porch, and that's the golden. But it really wasn't until about, I'd say, 3 to 6 months that I really got the true personality of Chipper, which she's a sweetheart, but she was a little scared and skittish and like, here comes another place. So I think these rooms are really good because you never know, and sometimes when they're just in a shelter cage, what they're doing. So what's going on in the mindset of the dog during this transition period sometimes?
Well, there's a lot of learning going on during that transition period. So, you know, you'll often hear folks talk about the honeymoon period, and when the honeymoon period is over, all of a sudden the behavior in the dog starts to change. What we're doing with Canine-ality is being able to see through a little bit of some of those likely behavior changes. So dogs that tend to be fairly persistent, work very hard for something that they want, we're able to identify that with Canine-ality and can set the adopter up then to know that, well, you know, chances are he's going to learn how to do lots of stuff. He's quite persistent, and he's going to work for what he wants, if that's food, if that's attention, and he's likely to have some significant behavior changes. We're going to see that he's going to learn a whole new behavior pattern based on his interactions with you. So Canine-ality doesn't give us the behavior of the dog for the whole rest of his life, but what it does is it gives us the idea of what's likely to change and how we can help support those behaviors to make it so that he's a outstanding citizen.
We want that. We do, because, you know, when we come home from a stressed out job, it's really nice to be treated like a rock star by something with a tail and 4 legs.
That's right.
But when you do this test, let's get into the nitty-gritty, because you're very scientific, and I like that about you. What are some specific things you can do to be able to determine if a dog is a persistent dog or if the dog is one that is happy to hang out by himself? Is that room kind of telling you with the camera, or what other tests do you conduct?
Well, the room definitely gives us some information. We also do some other assessments. One is how the dog interacts with toys, and that is giving us information not just about how the dog behaves around toys, but also what he chooses to be around. If he's in a space where he can sniff around and interact with toys or interact with you, what choices does he make? So we're assessing all of those choices. Some dogs don't interact with the toys or with the person, and that's a dog that we would score as a dog that's more what we call internally motivated. He's motivated by things that are less easy for us to manipulate. Does he interact just with the toys and only come to you to make the toy move again? Does he interact only with you and really doesn't pay much attention to the toys? So all of those things are giving us good information about his motivation, what he's likely to want to engage in. And those give us good hints and clues into how, again, we can help that bond. If a dog likes to engage with toys, and not only do we know he likes to engage with toys, but he tends to interact most with a tennis ball or a squeaky toy, then those are tools that we can set out to start that bond with the new adopter and also help to modify his behavior.
So if a dog is very toy excited and only comes to you to have you move or manipulate or throw the ball, I'm thinking that dog's already thinking, you are mine, you're going to help me. So you might have a dog that would think that, you know, that's the only motivation. How would you deal with that kind of a dog?
Well, you know, believe it or not, and I know it's hard for some of us who love for our dogs to love us more than anything else, but there are lots of folks out there who are content with their dog, not thinking that they're number one, but maybe that they're number 3. So part of it is getting that dog to the right home. So that if I'm an adopter walking into the shelter and I've decided that what I want most is a dog who loves me, then that dog might not be the first choice.
Good.
However, you can't always help love. And if I do choose that dog, the neat thing about canine-ality is that I now know I don't have unrealistic expectations. I know that this particular dog, it might not see me as number one, and there might be some ways that I can help modify that behavior. So certainly having whatever that toy is appear out of my body at all different times of the day would be one way to start making me more motivating, that I really can make the sun shine, with that toy.
You become the keeper of all good resources.
You got it.
That's great. That's great. And so with this test, too, I mean, you hit on it earlier that you're literally saving lives, because I know come February, sadly, there's going to be a lot of little young pups that are going to be returned to shelters because matches weren't made the correct way. But it sounds like the Meet Your Match, the canine-ality test that you started and created with the ASPCA, it's starting to be adopted by other shelters. Thank goodness. But let's talk about how we can, is that true? I mean, are you starting to spread around?
Yeah, the program is it's hard for us to know exactly, but about 200 facilities at least across the country.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And it is true, isn't it, that right about February we're going to be getting some returns, just like we did with our Christmas presents that we didn't like the fugly sweater from our aunt?
Well, what we find in sheltering is that those puppies that go out tend to come back not so much when they're still those cute puppies, but when they get a little bit older. So,
okay.
Adolescence can be a tough time in dogdom, and there are some significant behavior changes that tend to happen when an animal, a canine, reaches sexual maturity, and those can be some challenging times for folks. So shelters are often quite full with adolescent dogs, whether they're dogs that people acquired from a breeder or bought from their neighbor or got from a shelter as a puppy.
Okay, and we want to make sure that the first time around the match is good. And I'm thinking out loud, but you're going to have that dog longer than the life of a car, maybe in these days, your job. So this dog's going to be through a lot of milestones with you, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. And trying to have those right expectations up front and be set up to know that there will be some challenges ahead when you bring a new life into your life.
We're speaking with Dr. Emily Weiss. She is a certified applied animal behaviorist, and she also created the Meet Your Match program for both dogs and cats. It's a personality test. It's making sure that you get a good match that she developed for the ASPCA. We're going to talk more with her right after this commercial break, so sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. Oh Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
Introducing the Trimline Veterinary Recovery Collar, a must-have for all pets. Known as the soft blue collar, this comfortable recovery collar provides an effective barrier so dogs and cats can bounce back to health safely and quickly from injury, trauma, and surgery, such as spay or neutering. Dogs and cats of all ages can eat, drink, and play and keep their sutures and stitches at bay. Cats dig it too. The Trimline collar can even be inverted to not bother your finicky feline friends' whiskers. Great for all sizes, from kittens and chihuahuas to Great Danes. This soft, flexible, and lightweight blue collar is a great substitute for the hard plastic Elizabethan or e-collar. Learn more at trimlineinc.com or call 1-800-371-0216. That's trimlineinc.com. Plus, it's available at all distributors, so ask your veterinarian for the blue soft collar today.
Greetings, human. What planet am I on?
Welcome to Pet Planet. Here's a copy of Pet Planet Magazine, Florida's most informative and fun pet resource magazine. It features heartwarming stories and informative articles from local and national pet experts.
Excellent.
Pet Planet Magazine offers Operation Planet Rescue, helping rescued pets find new homes. And it's available at 500 locations in South and Central Florida and 24/7 on the internet at petplanetmagazine.com. If you're out and about with your pet, you may be featured in Paparazzi, candid pictures of you and your pet. For up-to-date pet-friendly events, activities, and pet-related services and products, Pet Planet Magazine is your final destination.
I shall take this magazine home with me.
Back to your home planet?
No, to my condo in Boca.
Pet Planet Magazine. Check them out at www.petplanetmagazine.com or 352-394-8578. It's out of this world.
Got questions about your hound's health? Need the facts on Fido's fitness or food? You want to unleash your pup's potential? Well, you've come to the right place with Win with Dogs. Here, we learn how easy it is to naturally improve the lives of our furry friends. So sit, stay, and get ready to win with dogs. With me, Raquel Wynn. Exercise, nutrition, interaction, and love make for one healthy, happy hound. Give yourself the gift of knowledge on demand every week right here at Pet Life Radio with me, Raquel Wynn, and Win with Dogs.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, it's Victoria Sewell from Animal Planet. It's me, or the dog. You're listening to Oh Behave with Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. We're chatting with Dr. Emily Weiss. She is one of the best experts on dogs and cat behavior on the planet. How's that? Is that a pretty good bone I threw to you?
I'm going to bring you home.
All right. Anyway, she also is the Senior Director of Shelter Research and Development for the ASPCA. This is a woman that's making sure that wonderful dogs and cats in animal shelters all over the country are landing not only happy, but most importantly, permanent homes. And so that's one thing we've been talking about, the personality and Meet Your Match. But there's a lot of folks out there that really love their dogs and they want to have a buddy for their dog. And so in this part of the show, I was hoping you can help us make sure that we don't let the fur fly when we bring home a second dog or even a cat to a dog household. So I'm hoping you can share with us some tips on how to avoid sibling rivalry of the four-legged kind.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. I think that, one of the things that we tend to all do when we bring a new animal home is get concerned about the existing dog or cat, that they're going to be bumped out of their special places. And I think we need to acknowledge that depending on who you bring home, there might be some changes in the way that your dog behaves. And a favorite sleeping spot may or may not be a favorite sleeping spot anymore. So going in with both eyes wide open and observing the behavior of both the new dog and the dog that has been in your home is going to be an important way for you to help make that assimilation be as seamless as possible.
That's a good point. Now, when you do get ready you've made your final cut, if you will, of the new dog that you're going to bring home, how do you properly introduce that dog to your dog that you have?
Well, it's always a good idea to have the meet happen in a neutral space. So a place that is not familiar to either one of the dogs, or certainly isn't the home base of either one of the dogs, is your best bet. A nice big outdoor space with plenty of room to get away should one choose to, and ideally having the dogs meet in a way that is not arousing. So we often get really excited, and our voices can make our dogs even more excited. If we can think to just be quiet while the introduction happens, and nice and calm, and soft voices if there are any voices at all, and just having the dogs casually walk up to each other and, if possible, walk up and move away, both on leashes, just a couple of times, and then having that meet happen with dropped leashes or leashes off is often the best way, especially when you know that both dogs are safe around other dogs. Leashes can often cause dogs to become a little bit more nervous and uncomfortable. So any tension on a leash is going to could make it a more emotional experience than it needs to be.
Yeah, I think you've spoken too of like the parallel walk too. Doesn't that make their yayas tone down a little bit? By the end of the walk, they're kind of bored with each other because they're absorbed with all the other sniffs and sights.
Absolutely, definitely. If you have the opportunity to be in a space where you can take a nice long parallel walk, that would be great. And again, when it's a nice new space, there's lots of other things around that are new and different besides just that other dog.
Now, sometimes when they first meet, I call it air guitar. You know, one dog will put his head on the back of the other dog or go, "Rawr!" And it's almost like, hey, who are you? But there's not the snarling or the, showing of the big teeth and all that. So do we sometimes kind of screw up, I guess that's the best word, by having, pulling in or charging in and the dog gets even more, I guess, unhinged?
Well, I think it depends on, first, knowing that the dog is not likely to be a dog-aggressive dog. So once we've gotten past that this is the introduction of these two that are going to be living together, we want to first make sure that both dogs are safe around most dogs. Certainly there are personality differences, and sometimes it just isn't a good match between two canines. But, having that out of the way, out of your mind, that these are dogs that are likely to be safe around other dogs, then what you explained and what you're calling air guitar is very normal canine behavior. That's how canines interact with each other. Who's ever on top is in charge in this particular interaction. Now, that might change with a different resource or in a different environment, but that's how they communicate with each other, who's holding what and who's in charge of what. So it's very, very normal behavior.
Well, I say that because, Chipper, we go to a Leash Your Fitness class. It's great, where you work out with your dog. And in the beginning, they let all the dogs run to get their energy a little bit tapped out before we all do exercises on leashes. And if there's a new dog, sometimes she'll do that, hey. And then I just say, I got it, sit. And she sits. But it's almost like she's got to say, my name is Chipper. Who are you? And then I watch the body language of the other dog who's like, whatever. And then it's done. But, sometimes people come in when they're just doing that and they think, oh, no, there's going to be a dog fight. And they shriek like this. And then all of a sudden there is a dog fight. Right. So I just try to make her sit, and she does. And then she just had to get her yayas out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the less of a big deal you can make out of it, the better. And keeping in the back of your head that it really is normal canine behavior to snarl a little bit. I mean, that's what dogs do.
I snarl sometimes when I meet people. No, I'm just kidding. Now, you've had firsthand knowledge because you have a couple of Jack Russells named Rocco and Bailey that are older dogs, and recently you adopted a little English pointer named Q. I love that name. So tell me from firsthand experience, listeners, how the great Dr. Emily Weiss was able to introduce Q to Rocco and Bailey.
Yeah, it always is. The animal behaviorist, just like the shoemaker never has a new pair of shoes, the animal behaviorist, I don't know if you always go by how we did it with our own animals, but we did meet off of our home territory, and I have two very bossy, loud Jack Russells, and there were situations, the first meet went beautifully. He integrated fairly quickly into the home, but if Q walks too close to one of my Jack's spaces, then there's a lot of noise.
Okay.
And a fair amount of teeth. And Q's response is perfect. He works great. He's a perfect match in our house. His response is to put his ears back, to turn his head, and to walk the other way. And that's it. It's over. So our response in our home is to let that happen. If we start to aggress, if we start to get into the middle of it, then the interaction is going to get worse. So what we do is reward for when Q walks by and nothing happens. And what we're getting now is a lot less response from our Jack Russells of aggression when Q's in their space. So by rewarding the non-aggression, we're going to get to the point where we'll be close to completely eliminating any sort of hey, get out of my space sort of response that we're getting.
And you're hitting on what's very important point is we as people need to be patient and celebrate little small victories. I don't think you can wave a little wand over two dogs and say, poof, you are perfect dogs now.
Right. I've tried. It hasn't worked yet.
Now, if you create that, I want to know because I'd like to buy some stock in your company. But speaking of creations, I wanted to see listeners, any of you that have a dog that takes you for a walk rather than you take them for a walk. Dr. Emily Weiss has actually created a new product. It's a no-pull leash, and it's called the Weiss Walkie because we like alliteration. And the first person who emails me at ardenmore.com will get their paws on this cool leash delivered by the great Dr. Emily Weiss. So tell us a little bit about the Weiss Walkie. See, I'm allowing you to tout your product because I think it's great.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. We developed the Weiss Walkie. I actually didn't name it. It was named by some volunteers over at the Wisconsin Humane Society, which is the first facility that I developed it for. And we developed it in order to give folks an easier tool. There's a lot of no-pull devices out there that work really well. They can be difficult to put on. Some of them the dogs are quite uncomfortable the first few times they wear them. So this was a quick and simple device for this shelter so that they could easily and quickly walk the dogs in their facility, and it kind of took off from there.
Well, it's great. And so as I said, we're going to give away one of your Weiss Walkies. People just have to email Arden at ardenmore.com, and the code word is Weiss Walkie. That's easy. WEISS Walkie, WALKIE, and we'll announce it on the next show and in my newsletter. So that's really great. Is there any final advice you want to give people other than to dash over to EmilyWeiss.com, and that's EmilyWeiss.com. She's really, truly talented, listeners, and she's here to help us out, really understand why dogs and cats do what they do.
I thank you so much for letting folks know about the website. I would say my final piece of advice is to be thinking about ways to enrich your dogs and keep them busy. A busy dog is a happy dog, which makes for a happy guardian.
There you go. And a house that isn't tackled by a dog.
That's true.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Weiss. We've been listening to Dr. Emily Weiss. Go over to EmilyWeiss.com to learn more. And I'm laughing because my cat now is playing with my two dogs in my office. They're usually normally four-legged mimes, but they think it's quite funny to play and act out on the Oh Behave show. I don't know. I might need your help, Dr. Weiss.
Well, you know where to find me.
Well, they're having fun, and to me, I don't want to spoil that fun. So we give big paws and applause to you for being on our show, and also we thank our cool producer, Mark Winter. And if you haven't signed up for my monthly free e-newsletter, why not? Hey, it's fun. We offer a lot of giveaways like the Weiss Walkie. All you have to do is dash over to ardenmore.com, and you can sign up on my homepage. It's fun and easy, and we profile amazing people and groups that really bring joy to us when it comes to our dogs and cats. So, until next time, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.